Hello everyone, welcome to Chelsea Sport Focus. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started.
Chelsea find themselves facing a financial and sporting dilemma they never expected just a few months ago. When Nicolas Jackson was sent to Bayern Munich at the end of the summer window, the move was widely interpreted as a clean, strategic solution to Enzo Maresca's squad imbalance. Chelsea had already secured João Pedro and Liam Delap, while Marc Guiu was developing well, and Emmanuel Emega plus Jadon Sancho were lined up for their summer return. With the striker department overloaded, Chelsea believed allowing Jackson to leave on loan, with an obligation to buy, would bring clarity and generate significant income for future squad planning. The deal looked perfect on paper. Bayern Munich paid a substantial £14.2 million loan fee just to complete the transfer in time, after the move had nearly collapsed multiple times on deadline day. That fee alone gave Chelsea early financial breathing room. More importantly, the Bavarians agreed to a mandatory obligation to buy for £56.2 million at the end of the season. The total package was supposed to exceed £70 million, comfortably surpassing the amount Chelsea originally paid for Jackson. For the club's long-term financial model, it was the definition of a well-executed transaction. But the reality has now changed almost completely. Uli Hoeneß, Bayern's honorary president, publicly stated that the obligation clause is performance-based and depends on Jackson playing at least 40 matches for Bayern this season. The issue is that Jackson has barely featured, with just 5 starts so far. In total, he has made only 14 appearances, most of them from the bench. This leaves him needing more than 30 additional matches to activate the clause, and Bayern's season simply does not contain enough fixtures for that to be possible, especially with the Africa Cup of Nations now standing directly in the way. Senegal's AFCON campaign begins on December 23rd, and Jackson is expected to be a key part of the squad. The group stage matches alone run until December 30th, and depending on Senegal's progress, the knockout stages could keep Jackson away from Bayern until January 18th. This gap is crucial because Bayern returned to Bundesliga action on January 11th. Jackson could miss multiple league matches, further reducing his chances of hitting the required appearance threshold. Complicating matters even more is the competition within Bayern's squad. Harry Kane remains the undisputed first-choice striker, leaving Jackson limited to scraps of playing time. Kane's status as Bayern's central figure makes it nearly impossible for Jackson to accumulate the necessary starts, even when he is available. Bayern have only 23 Bundesliga games remaining, and while Champions League fixtures and potential playoff rounds add a few more opportunities, the numbers simply do not add up to the threshold required for the purchase obligation. What seemed like an automatic £56 million payday for Chelsea has now become a fading possibility. Instead of receiving a guaranteed fee, Chelsea now face the likelihood of Jackson returning to London next summer, despite already restructuring their forward line without him. Bayern may still choose to negotiate a lower fee, but the guaranteed figure Chelsea were counting on looks increasingly unattainable. For Chelsea, this creates a practical dilemma. Next season, the club could see 6 strikers competing for places: João Pedro, Liam Delap, Emmanuel Emega, Jadon Sancho, Marc Guiu, and potentially Nicolas Jackson returning from Germany. Chelsea never intended to manage such congestion again, but the failed obligation clause could force them back into a difficult position. Furthermore, Jackson's value on the open market would likely be lower than the £56 million Bayern were originally set to pay, especially if he ends the season with limited game time and reduced goal impact. Chelsea may have to accept a much smaller fee from another club or attempt to reintegrate Jackson into the squad, disrupting plans already built around Pedro, Delap, and Emega. The situation also exposes the risk of attaching obligations to appearances, especially when sending players to a club where competition is intense. Bayern did not desperately need Jackson, he was recruited as depth behind Kane. That alone made hitting any appearance-based threshold highly unlikely unless Kane suffered a major injury. Senegal's AFCON participation now effectively seals the outcome. Chelsea had hoped to avoid these complications by completing a clean sale. Instead, they face uncertainty, a potential financial shortfall, and a squad management problem that will require difficult decisions. The next few months may determine whether Chelsea try to renegotiate with Bayern, seek a new buyer, or prepare for Jackson's unexpected return to Cobham in the summer. For now, the reality is clear. The £56 million clause that once looked like a guaranteed reward is slipping further and further out of reach, leaving Chelsea with questions they did not expect to revisit, and a striker situation that once again demands resolution. Breaking news: Emmanuel Emega sends a powerful message to João Pedro and Liam Delap as Chelsea's next striker takes centre stage. Emmanuel Emega's name has been circulating around Stamford Bridge corridors for months, but on Thursday night, the incoming Chelsea striker delivered the kind of performance that forces every rival forward to pay attention. Against one of the Premier League's most resilient and physically dominant defensive units, Strasbourg's 22-year-old forward stepped up once again, scoring a crucial equaliser in a UEFA Conference League clash that ended with a 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace. The goal might have looked scrappy, an awkward touch from Diego Moreira's back post cross that bounced past Dean Henderson, but the significance was enormous. For Chelsea's coaching staff, for the recruitment department, and especially for Enzo Marresca, this was concrete evidence that Emega is not simply a future talent but a striker capable of hurting Premier League opponents long before he even puts on a Chelsea shirt. Chelsea agreed the deal for Emega in September, completing one of the most quietly impressive transfer maneuvers of the past year. At the time, the young Dutch international had already attracted interest from clubs with Champions League status, yet he chose the Blueco project after discussions with Strasbourg, and Chelsea made it clear he would be given a pathway that prioritised his development, consistency, and long-term integration. For Strasbourg, the move was significant, but for Chelsea, it was strategic. With Nicolas Jackson loaned out to Bayern Munich and his long-term future in London uncertain, the Blues knew they needed an emerging striker who could fit Maresca's pressing system, link-up play, and technical demands. Emega was identified early as a profile's perfect target: fast, direct, relentless in pressing, strong in transitions, and capable of operating both as a lone forward or in a fluid two-striker system. This season, he has been exceptional. 7 goals in 10 appearances, plus a statement performance during his debut for the Dutch national team, have caused a shift in expectations. Emega is no longer a future investment, he is a genuine first-team contender. Liam Rosenior, Strasbourg's manager, did not hold back after the final whistle. Speaking to TNT Sports, he delivered what may be the clearest endorsement Emega has received so far. "He's been fantastic for me," Rosenior said. "He causes problems for defenders, with his running, his energy, his pressing. He's still very young, and he's improving every single week. I'm very lucky. I have 2 amazing strikers, but Emmanuel is exceptional. He is a delight to work with." Those words were heard all the way in London. Inside Cobham, Chelsea's recruitment and technical teams have been monitoring Emega closely for months. Every run, every duel, every off-ball movement is analysed. And with Chelsea currently boasting one of the most stacked striker lines in Europe, João Pedro, Liam Delap, Marc Guiu, Tariq George, and Dastan Satpave, Emega's message on Thursday night was clear: he intends to fight for the number 9 position. Chelsea fans are already asking the biggest question: who starts next season? João Pedro has established himself as a lethal deep-lying forward. Liam Delap is developing rapidly, showing improved composure, movement, and tactical discipline. Marc Guiu has been a reliable third option. Tariq George continues to show flashes of brilliance. But Emega brings something different. He brings unpredictability. He brings physicality. And perhaps most importantly, he brings a level of intensity that Chelsea haven't had in a striker since the prime years of Diego Costa. When asked about the move in a recent interview, Emega was remarkably mature, explaining exactly why he turned down